And at some point, I don't care if Melendez is going to learn in AAA. He is not helping the big league club. And now he is helping. I mean, he made a great catch yesterday. He's been solid defensively, which I never thought we'd say, but here we are. So good on him. But yeah, I mean, at some point you got to make that move.
Yeah, you got to do something. So we'll wait and see. The starting pitching, we keep saying, and let's have one more positive note before I hit you with a conundrum that I don't think will be that much of a conundrum for you. But anyway, the starting pitching, you keep saying, well, it can't be this good. Well, it really can't because, guys don't run out there and have a 1.7 ERA. But still, it looks like these guys are going to pitch well, barring injury, all season long.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, they keep the team in the game. Like, you look at Seth Lugo last year, I don't remember what the exact number was, but the quality start stat is, I don't love how much some people lean on it, but it is a good barometer. If you give up 3 or fewer runs and pitch 6 or more innings, your team is going to be in the game.
Well, I'll just point out one thing. This stat has been used for a lot of years, but the thing that makes it, I think, maybe better now, and I get it, 6-3 is a 4.5 ERA, but usually you're going to be doing better. But that means you went 6. That doesn't happen. Right. That doesn't happen that much anymore.
Well, the league, I think, starting pitching is averaging I think it's 16 outs per start this year, which it's a little bit skewed because of openers, and I don't know how to pull those out from every team. So even let's say it's 17 outs, which is probably more accurate. That's 5 2/3. Right. I mean, if you're going 6 innings, you're doing better than average.
Mm-hmm.
And like Seth Lugo last year had a good year. He was pretty good for the Padres. But the biggest thing is he threw a ton of quality starts. So the Padres were in just about every game he started. And he's not a 1.74 ERA guy. Let's be real. Okay. Let's not pretend like Seth Lugo. Right. Exactly. I mean, you prime Pedro Martinez. Sure. Okay. Seth Lugo is not that, but he is a guy who, even when he regresses, which he will, and he's pitched so much of this season that his regression will still leave him probably with a sub-3 ERA this year, unless he just tanks.
Right.
But he's been so good, and that over the last 2/3 of the season, when Seth Lugo starts, you're probably going to get to the late innings in the game, if not in the lead. And that's true of Cole Reagans. That's true of, honestly, Brady Singer. That's true of Michael Wacha. And that's been true of Alec Marsh, too. And he goes today. We'll see. I think that Alec Marsh is still in wait-and-see mode for sure, because he just hasn't done it very long. But he's looked good, too. I mean, this whole rotation is filled with pitchers who you feel like when they get to the 7th inning, they're going to be up or down by 1 or 2 at most. And that's how you win games, because you have an opportunity to actually come back. Last season, how often was it the 5th inning and it was 7-1?
Right.
So often. And this year, if they're down, it's 2-1. Okay, well, you can overcome 2-1. You can't overcome 7-1, but it's difficult. And so that to me, even if and when this whole staff regresses, they're still going to be able to keep the Royals in the game, allow them the chance to come back late in the game, and that's how you win a lot of games as a team.
Yes, indeed. You used to look at pitching matchups for a series and go, ugh, ooh, ouch.
Right.
Now it's Marsh, Reagans, Lugo, Singer. That'll play. That'll play for sure in a series against the Twins. All right, to wrap this thing up on Memorial Day, I think I know your answer, but I just want to hear you explain your answer. And I'll put it this way, because I got to put a little more pressure on it, because obviously, as we've mentioned often, and I mentioned in the open, Inside the Crown is a wonderful resource. Mondays is free. You can test it out that way, and then the paywall is very, very reasonable. And Inside the Crown means that obviously you're covering the Kansas City Royals. But if you had to take $5,000 out of the bank, you were ordered to. There was no falling back. You had to take $5,000 out of the bank, and you had to place all $5,000 on either one of these players. Who would it be? Bobby Witt Jr. or Gunnar Henderson?
Boy, that's a tough one. They're both so good.
Yeah, yes. They're almost the identical age. This year they're having almost identical season. They both improved dramatically defensively. They both run. Yeah.
So here, are you talking about for MVP?
Well, I'm just talking about
or just in general?
Long term, yes. The best career to be judged in 10 years.
I think I'm going to take Bobby.
Right.
But it's not like it's not a hands down thing, obviously. No. Gunnar Henderson is incredible. I picked him before the season to win AL MVP.
Right.
He was the guy in my prediction article. And I mean, some of that comes with a team, right? Like, the Orioles
and the ballpark, and the ballpark.
He's a lefty, all that stuff. Great. He's a shortstop, but he is fast, but nobody is Bobby Witt fast.
Right.
He is a good defender, but Witt has been, I believe he still ranks as the best shortstop in baseball defensively. If not, he's top 3.
Right.
Witt he's not hitting home runs at the rate that Henderson is, although he's picked up lately. He had 4 this week. So, maybe that'll catch up. I don't know. I just think I'd put the money on Bobby Witt, but here's the thing. You can't go wrong.
No.
I mean, those two. And it's not just those two. Look at the shortstops around baseball. You've got Witt. You've got Gunnar Henderson. You've got Anthony Volpe's having a nice year for the Yankees. He's figured it out a little bit. Mason Wynn for the Cardinals has been really good. Jeremy Pena is doing well for the Astros again. He had a bit of a down year last year, but he's picked it up this year. There are a lot of young O'Neill Cruz, Ellie Dela Cruz. There are so many young shortstops right now.
They got San Diego shortstop they got from the Korean League. I mean, he's good.
Oh, right. Ha-Sung Kim. Yeah, he's been. I mean, all these guys. I remember. I mean, I know you remember this too. The cover with A-Rod and Jeter and Garcia Parra and Edgar Renteria was in there. Whatever. Alex Gonzalez, I think, was on that cover. Weird inclusion. This group is better.
Right.
It is wild that they had multiple Hall of Fame shortstops on that cover, and this group is a better group of shortstops. The game of baseball, and they don't promote them nearly well enough, obviously, but the game of baseball is so flush with talent right now. It is wild, and so many of them play shortstop. And the fact that the Royals have maybe the best, that's crazy to me. And it's fantastic. It's so much fun to watch every day. You can't go wrong with any of them, but I'm taking Witt all day.
There you go. I knew that was going to be the answer, but I wanted to get the justification. I'm glad you said it because I think if you asked a Royals fan, they would scoff at you, But no, you have to give the due to. And the other part,
they all deserve credit.
Yes, and the other part is that Henderson's left-handed, which is always an inherent advantage for any ball player. But we have an inherent advantage in having you here. We always appreciate it. Get that voice up to 100%. But we got enough of your voice. That was just fantastic as usual. Thanks always, David.
Absolutely. Thanks, Danny.
And I'll have my little baseball roundup we do on Mondays and the rest of our Monday musings all around the world of sports coming up next on Monday Musings. Danny and Friends, like David Lesky, Sports Wrap. It's presented by ASFCA.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
We're here at the 23rd Street Brewery with Matt Llewellyn. And Matt, you've got a great menu. You fine-tuned it a little bit. Great beers. There's always something to be had to put a smile on your face at the 23rd Street Brewery.
Oh, you bet. And Brian Haney would always say, come have the Haney turkey stack. Bill Self would say, come have the Bill Self pasta. I would say, come have the Bill Self pasta. It's great. Great mac and cheese, buffalo mac and cheese. And we've got a ton of other menu items that you're sure to love. We've got a great brewer who's brewing great beer. And if you like craft beer, our guy's the way to go. And we're making great drinks, too. There's a great new distillery in the state of Kansas called Llewellyn Distillery. My brother's doing that. He makes some great whiskey and vodka and rum, and we're doing all kinds of great drinks with those beverages.
Always fun to be had at the 23rd Street Brewery, 23rd and Castle. Come on by anytime and have a good time. Cinematic Visions has been an affordable solution for professional media production in Kansas City since 2003, offering award-winning video production and creation, as well as a wide array of digital and social media management services. For planning, scripting, filming, editing, and post-production to delivering your product to a watching world, Cinematic Visions will provide professional and affordable services for you and your business with the necessary return on investment to make it all worthwhile. Cinematic Visions' goal is to unlock the power of storytelling through video and a strong online presence for your company. Beyond the numbers, they want to inspire and evoke your clients to feel and act. Let my friends at Cinematic Visions embed your brand where it belongs, in your customers' minds. You can find them online at cinematicvisions.com or with a quick phone call at 816-600-6300.
If you'd like to join these and other fine sponsors and market your business on Kansas City's #1 rated podcast, contact us at Danny@DannyKlinkscale.com. Look forward to working with you.
Welcome back, and thanks always to David. He's a great insights. He's a great source of tremendous baseball information and makes you a smarter baseball fan. And I'll try to make you a little bit of a smarter baseball fan and talk a little round baseball right now, which we do on Mondays generally in the summertime. We've got some of the big market teams cooking. That's what makes the Royals' fine play even more compelling, really. The Yankees have the best record in baseball. No, they don't. It's the Cleveland Guardians, another quote-unquote small market team, but the Yankees do lead the East. They've won 7 of their last 10. They are at .673 for a winning percentage. They have an excellent run differential. Aaron Judge has gotten hot of late. Their starting pitching has been outstanding all year long. Not quite as good as the Royals, but pretty darn close. And the Yankees are playing great baseball. That's not that surprising. The surprise, it's been a long, long time since the Yankees have won a championship. I guess that's kind of good for baseball. But they are pursued with a lot of heat from the Baltimore Orioles, who are a team that was fallow for a while. But in the East, you better build up or you're going to be left in the dust like the Toronto Blue Jays are now. The Orioles just player after player after player that they drafted over the last few days. Of course, we mentioned one of them with David Lesky, and they're playing good ball, winners of 4 straight, and right on the Yankees' heels at 2 games back. The Red Sox, I don't think they have anything to really lean on long term. They do have great starting pitching. Their bullpen hasn't been very good, but their starting pitching has been the best in baseball. Their offense is sometimes good, sometimes not, and that's basically adds up to about a .500 record. Tampa, the team that we just saw against the Royals, they obviously have had all kinds of injuries this year that has really affected them. Somehow they're just 1 game under .500 with a terrible run differential of -47. Their offense, which was so good last year, 3rd in all of baseball, is not very good this year. And so they are well back, and that's one of the teams, kind of the Red Sox, the Rays, those kind of teams are the ones you have to look for as far as the Royals are concerned, because the Royals are well ahead of those teams right now as far as a potential wild card, and that's something that fortunately we'll be able to monitor through the year. But in the Central, that race is still controlled by the Guardians, because as hot as the Royals have been, the Guardians are hotter. They've won 9 in a row. They've won 9 of their last 10, which makes the Royals 8 out of their last 10. Well, not quite as good, and that's why they're 2.5 games back. Teams have similar run differentials. The Royals starting to heat up offensively, obviously. They played several games in a row with 7 or more runs scored. They head to Minnesota today for a 4-game series, couple afternoon games today and on Thursday. The Twins started off terribly, got red hot, and then have cooled off of late, losers of 6 of their last 10. But they're a good team, and they are a team that has the ability to flag down the Royals. And so head-to-head, these games are kind of important here around the Memorial Day weekend. The Tigers were supposed to be improved. They are improved, but not quite as much as they were supposed to. Their offense has been pretty terrible so far, but certainly not as bad as the Chicago White Sox, who are historically awful, as they have a plus over 100 run differential on the negative side, 15 and 39. They're still above the magic .250 winning percentage that we talk about, because that's the New York Mets pace that got them a major league record. And the White Sox, losers of 5 straight, are back to playing bad baseball after a decent stretch for them. The West has been decent at best. The best team is only decent, and that's the Seattle Mariners. They're a losing team in their last 10. They're only a couple 500, but that's good for first place. Were the Texas Rangers, who can't get out of their own way. They've dropped 7 of their last 10. The Astros have heated up in May, but they dug themselves such a big hole. They're still well under 500 and in third place. The Athletics were god-awful early, then actually